So it's early in the morning here. The Small Journeys has so many things in it, like a lot of these series do, and very often I do tons of sketching and kind of storming, and I end up with a lot of ideas. And, the rain thing, well, I had a lot of sketches there. I don't always get to those things during the series themselves, but I do continue with the ideas, and a lot of times I make myself little bases based on those sketches, just like you would do by sketching on paper, but a lot of times I just use cloth to kind of initiate the idea. But what's interesting here really is, I think, through this mood of the day, and a kind of an idea came out of it. I'm looking at this image with the light shining through and the figure disappearing, and how much that's become sort of an abstraction in some compressed way by not being able to see the figure. And I just asked myself, well, gee, what if you did actually create sort of a composition around a figure, which really gives it a different level of emotion when you put a figure in it. Of course, it becomes figurative in a way. But what if you start that way and build a composition around that, and then in some way take the figure out? And that's what happened here, kind of accidentally. And although it would be hard now to physically take the figure out of the cloth itself, I think as an idea, this is a very interesting way to compose. Because when you take the figure out, you take certain you take a certain level of communication out, and you're left with maybe some of the elements that you weren't looking at before in relationship to one another, because the figure kind of blocks a certain kind of logic, I think. You use a figure a lot of times to bring people into a composition because they relate to living beings differently than they do to just shapes and colors, things like that. So that was the idea that actually came out of here, is this an interesting method to create an abstracted composition that was originally based on something more figurative.